All right, welcome back to News Channel 21's live debate coverage for Oregon's 5th Congressional District. And now I'm joined by Aaron Schweitzer, publisher of The Source here in Bend. Aaron, thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks for having me this evening.
Yeah, you got some big shoes to fill because Heather's questions were outstanding.
She's incredible.
All right, go for it.
My first question involves controversial Measure 110. With deflection programs starting after the major rollbacks of Measure 110, would you advocate for supporting or expanding these programs?
And Representative Bynum, you start.
Well, voters can trust me on the issue because I believe that early in the conversation, or prior to even having Measure 110 on the table, that we should have been investing in mental health supports across the state. I wrote an open letter with many other mental health providers to Governor Kate Brown calling for state investment in mental health supports. We know that that is one reason that Measure 110 was not successful. We didn't have the infrastructure. I was the visionary who called that out ahead of time, and I know that Oregonians across the state wanted a clear and compassionate option for people who were experiencing substance abuse and addiction. We didn't get Measure 110 the way that we didn't get the implementation at the state level, at the level that people needed it at, and I led on making sure that we could correct that. If you have a vision, you should be able to follow it through from start to finish and correct where needed.
All right, thank you. Lori?
Measure 110 has been a failed experiment, and it was led by Janelle Bynum. And she mentioned she has mental health. She wanted to address mental health, but she didn't. She couldn't get to it before Measure 110 was on the docket. She's the home team. All three houses. The Senate, the House, and the governor's office.
That's why you can't get it out.
And so the home team. And so when you're a visionary, you don't put something on the board if you cannot finish it. So Measure 110 was a failure. And it has allowed to criminalize hard drugs, which has lent itself to more mental health crisis, to more drug addiction, and to more people dying on the streets. Fentanyl and opioid crisis are killing our families on the streets. And this is why law enforcement doesn't trust her, didn't support her, and begged her not to do it. She dismantled law enforcement. That is why they support me. She wrote bills to defund the police, and she decided it was a good idea always to side with rioters and rapists.
All right, Janelle, 1 minute.
My opponent has fantasies of me siding with the wrong side of the law. I'm not quite sure where she gets that from, but what is really important to remember here was that I led on the fentanyl conversation, and I led on mental health, and you can't match that.
Then why are people dying and still struggling with mental health?
We can't trust you. Because you were nowhere to be found when we were trying to work on fentanyl as a leading issue. You were nowhere to be found when it came to working on mental health. You were not putting forth any ideas. I was the one making sure that the Oregon State Legislature put in $80 million to grow the number of mental health providers. I made sure that that happened, and I will continue to make sure that that happens.
All right, thank you. Lori?
Well, thank you. I was not in the state legislature who decided to be a champion and led people to believe and sold them a false bill of goods when they voted on it. But what I have done in my 22 short months to address the fentanyl crisis, it was passed into law and signed by President Biden, the Fend Off Fentanyl Act, making sure that we can protect our young families. I also passed the House the Halt Fentanyl Act. Which one of your colleagues, my colleagues actually, but on your side of the aisle, Andrea Salinas, is running all over TV because it's a good bill. We have to make sure that we're investing to protect our children. We have to shut that southern border to make sure that the drugs are not flowing into a state like Oregon and killing our kids. And we have to support our law enforcement, and we have to respect them so that they can, again, do their job and feel good about it.
Thank you, Lori. Okay, Aaron, again, you've got great questions too. What's your next one?
This question turns to abortion rights. Would you support a national ban on abortion? Why or why not?
And Congresswoman Chavez-DeRemer, you start this one.
No, I would not support a national ban. I have said it more than once, and I'm glad to keep talking about it. And the reason that I wouldn't support it is because we don't have the authority or the jurisdiction to do so. After the SCOTUS ruling in 2022, it is now a states' rights issue, and Oregon has spoken loud and clear that they would like to protect their abortion rights. More than 65% of the population has said they want access. That is up to Oregonians now. So we will not see a vote on the House floor anymore. We don't have the authority to do so, and if anybody tried to bring it forward, I would imagine it's going to end up again in a court case because, again, it's a states' rights issue.
All right, thank you. Janelle Bynum.
I have stood up repeatedly from the time I entered the State House doors until now to make sure that women across Oregon have access to reproductive health care, whether it was the Reproductive Health Equity Act or most recently making sure that doctors weren't extradited to other states for their participation in caring for their patients who may have to have reproductive care procedures. My opponent has voted 13 times in various capacities to ensure that reproductive health care rights are not protected across this country. We know Republicans want her on their books. We know they want her at the table. We know they want her in the numbers so that they can limit IVF and they can limit options for women's birth control. We know they want her for the numbers, and we can't let that happen. We don't trust her.
Lori Chavez-DeRemer.
Thank you. Well, again, that's an outright lie. I don't know where the 13 comes from, and she can't cite it. I promise you she cannot cite it. So she makes that up. But contraception, it's important. I'm on the Contraception Act with my colleagues. I have my own IVF bill so that women can decide when they want to have their children and support them in that issue. I'm on a second IVF bill for a tax credit of more than $30,000 to go toward how expensive that is. So again, that's nonsense. You know, I was the one who kept it off the floor, H.R. 7, to even have the discussion on a national ban. So again, we have to know the reality. Sometimes we have to do a reality overlay of what's happening in 2024. And here in Oregon, not one time have I taken any vote at any time to fundamentally dismantle a woman's right to choose here in Oregon.
All right, good discussion. Janelle.
We know that Lori Chavez-DeRemer is taking a more moderate approach now because I've been in her face about it, because we're holding her feet to the fire about it. She promised one thing here in Oregon in her last election and then went to Washington and completely flipped on us. We can't trust her. I have 2 daughters. I want to make sure that their reproductive rights are protected wherever they are in this country. Full stop. No negotiation.
Very good. Great discussion. Let's give them a little extra time. What do you say, huh?
Yes, please. That'd be great.
Lori Chavez-DeRemer,
again,
how about 20 seconds?
Thank you. Again, I'm a mom. I'm going to have my first, grandchild. I know how important this issue is, and people want us to be compassionate and thoughtful about this. But again, this is not in the House of Representatives. This is no longer in Congress. This is a states' rights issue. And to say that I am in the pocket of anybody is nonsense. Again, this is why my independent voice and independent leadership representing all of Oregon matters. People do trust me because my record speaks for itself. I can't thank you enough for listening to this, and I'll answer it every single time because I do think it's an important issue.
You get an extra 20 seconds on this, Janelle Bynum.
One of the things that's particularly important to me is making sure that the issue of maternal mortality gets discussed in Congress. And we know that women of color are dying in childbirth. They're dying because they can't get reproductive care. And they're dying in a country that has access to the highest level of health care around the world. And so this idea that we can't protect women at the state level, we can only protect women at the state level and not nationally, is also a part of the reproductive health care rights conversation.
All right, thank you, Janelle. Aaron's got another question for us. What do you have?
Last one. My last question turns to election integrity. Do you believe our elections are free and fair? What, if anything, concerns you about election integrity at the state and national level?
And we begin with Janelle Bynum.
Election integrity is important to me because I'm just one generation removed from Jim Crow segregation. My mother grew up in the Jim Crow South, and terror was part of the agenda. And when we think about who was encouraged to vote and who wasn't, that's still blood on this country's hands. That's why I am a pure and free defender of democracy. That's why I make sure that my children vote, that we talk about voting as a part of their civic duty, and I want to make sure that we are always, always, always ensuring that our elections are free and fair. I'm proud of Oregon's model, not proud of the mistake that the Secretary of State's office made, but I'm proud of Oregon's vote by mail model.
Lori Chavez-DeRemer.
Absolutely. Free and fair elections is the backbone of our democracy. We can always do better. We can always make sure that we're fixing the mistakes. But here in Oregon, it was a pretty prominent mistake. My opponent voted for the DMV on this issue. And so just now is she coming out and saying she's never actually questioned it before. But to have more than 1,500 people register to vote who are non-citizens is a problem. I wrote a letter to the Secretary of State asking those questions to be detailed so we can ensure that Oregonians feel like their vote matters and it's protected, as well as the governor's office to make sure that we're paying attention to these. I mean, we just cannot have any breakdown if we can protect it. And that's what I want to do, always have this conversation and make sure that we protect our democracy, not only in Oregon, but also in America.
All right, Janelle, your response.
Well, one of the things that really kind of gave me pause recently was when former President Trump was telling a group of potential supporters that they only had to vote this one time. And if they voted this one time, he would take care of it from there. And that gave me chills, because telling someone that you're going to take care of the election, that's a problem. Also, my opponent still hasn't said whether President Biden won the election fairly and freely. That's a problem.
On last night's debate, I was asked that exact same question. My answer was an absolute yes.
All right.
I'm pretty sure you were standing next to me.
Lori Chavez-DeRemer, please.
Thank you. Sorry for the interruption, Lee. But we were just together 2 nights ago. You stood next to me. The question was, do you believe that Joe Biden won the election? Question mark. My answer, yes. Ken Body. Well, that was short and sweet.
All right. Well, thank you very much to both of our candidates. We also want to make sure to thank Aaron from The Source for joining us. Great questions, Aaron.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Aaron.
It's been a pleasure.
Yep. All right. We're going to take our very last break here. When we come back, candidates have their closing statements. Stay tuned.